Welcome, guys, to the Liverpool FC Journal. I'm Owen W. James. This is your Liverpool news update, guys. A few things to talk through today as regards the club. Obviously, big focus on the game against Spurs away. Spurs, a club in crisis again, so it seems, with Thomas Frank under a whole load of pressure. Basket case, absolute basket case of a club, that one, isn't it? Really, genuinely is. But look, Liverpool was 5 games unbeaten. Yes, probably not the 5 games unbeaten we'd want. I think obviously the club would have, the fans, I think, and obviously the expectations for 5 games are 5 wins. But some impressive victories, no doubt, the less in the last couple of games. Now, Brighton last Saturday, a 2-0 victory. I think, look, it wasn't the perfect performance by any stretch of the imagination. Yes, Liverpool missed chances, but Brighton had more than enough chances to get something out of the game. And there was, thanks to Alisson, and obviously some very bad finishing from Brighton. And I think there still needs to be a step up in levels when it comes to Liverpool and their performances, especially obviously coming in to this weekend against Spurs and going forward over the next few weeks, especially with the Arsenal game looming in January. Now, we're obviously now without Mo Salah, so in a way, it's kind of a calming time in such as that, I think there is kind of a concern. Obviously, when Salah's around, there is that distraction. Will he play? Will he won't? Will he not play? We all know that situation, obviously, with the post-match interview. Hopefully, that's all behind us now when we move on. But there's still obviously a lot of uncertainty over Mo's future. Now, after Brighton, he kind of said bye to the fans. I think many people saying this was a bye to the fans in terms of he's off to AFCON and that's it. It's kind of just, that's all it was. He'll be missing for 4 to 6 weeks as the African Cup of Nations takes place. Hopefully, he goes far with Egypt and does well with them and comes back banging in form. Others saying that in effect this was an actual goodbye from Mo Salah. That he will be on the move in January. That's kind of what's kind of been and made an understanding that perhaps there was understanding behind the scenes that Mo would come back, play this game, say goodbye, and then that would be it. The club would ship him out in January. Look, I don't know. None of us know what goes on behind closed doors, what Michael Edwards is planning, what Richard Hughes is planning, what Arne Slot is planning, what Mo Salah is planning. None of us know that for definite. Now, look, my personal belief is that Mo will move on, not at the end of his contract, the 2 years. Once that happens, I honestly think that Mo will move on at the end of this season, once the season is over. With Liverpool still, possibly could be in the Champions League final. Obviously we're still in that competition, very much in the thick of things when it comes to Champions League. Adding to that as well, of course, the situation where we could win the FA Cup as well. That's still a trophy that's there to be competed for. Mo, I don't think will want to be sitting, even on a substantial sum of money in Saudi, watching Liverpool play in a Champions League or watching Liverpool play in an FA Cup final, if Liverpool were lucky enough to get there. So I do think you'll see this season out and that he will go for it in terms of, I think, leave at the end of the season. In a way, I've had this kind of suspicion since Mo signed the new contract that was always the intention, that he was signed on for 2 years with the intention of, look, Mo, you get 1 more season with us and then we're going to sell you. And that was kind of what was agreed. I mean, that's been a rumour that swirls around. How true that is, I don't know. Now, there is stories this morning emerging that Mo Salah has flown to Jeddah. Weirdly, has flown to Jeddah to meet with Saudi officials. So goes the story. Now, Saudi officials from the Saudi from the Saudi Premier League. I don't know how true this is. Some people are saying that this is on the way to the AFCON, that he's gone there, that he's gone to talk to these people. Again, this is what is being reported. I genuinely don't know if this is actually the case, that he is looking at this and he's done that. It is a story that's going around now. Obviously, people are going to put 2 and 2 together and get 5, 6, 12, 15 million, 427. That this is Mo Salah heading off to Saudi to negotiate his January transfer and to leave. Now, it could equally be that Mo Salah's gone to Saudi to just promote the African Cup of Nations, or Mo Salah's gone to Saudi maybe to negotiate a move in the summer. None of us know, and none of us know if this is actually true, but it does seem a very interesting development nonetheless into what is going on in the world of Mo Salah and the world of Liverpool Football Club. But who knows what is going to happen with Mo. My personal belief, if you want it, is that he will move in the summer. Liverpool will get a substantial fee of between 75 and 100 million for him, I think. And then obviously that money will be then reinvested into the team. And Mo will go off to Saudi to earn his life-changing amounts of money out there. Look, guys, give me your thoughts. What do you think? What do you think of the story about him flying to Saudi, pre-Africa Cup of Nations? What do you think about him leaving before the end of his contract? And if you do think he's going to leave, when do you think he's going to leave? Let me know in the comments on that one. Right, let's talk a little bit about this man here, Mark Guéhi. Now, obviously, look, the summer transfer move for Guéhi, in my opinion, was a complete fuck up. It really genuinely was. Guéhi should have been done earlier. You know, we shouldn't have left it to last minute. We shouldn't have left it to a situation where Palace could pull out. It's a ridiculous move by the club. It's a stupid move by the club. It should have been tied up. And I think we've paid the price defensively this season for not having enough competition at the back. And perceivably now, we're down to two centre-backs with Joe Gomez's injury at the weekend, which, you know, is great, isn't it? You know, we're now down to relying on Grav, Endo, Robbo to fill in at centre-back if anything happens to Ibrahima Konate or to Virgil van Dijk. We're also keeping our fingers crossed that Konate keeps up his good form. I mean, the club's centre-back-wise is in a bit of a mess. Now, obviously, there's desire and hope that Liverpool can still move for Mark Guéhi and Liverpool can secure Guéhi. Now, a lot of the talk has been that Guéhi will come in January. Liverpool will try at least to get him in January. Now, there are a number of reports, concerning reports this morning. Liverpool will face a huge battle and may well miss out on the Palace skipper. Now, we heard yesterday that Manchester City are planning to revamp their defence in the summer and that Guéhi is top of their shopping list on a free transfer. Hence why it was kind of reported yesterday on a number of channels and a number of other areas that Liverpool would consider moving in January to ward off the interest from Manchester City. However, this morning there has been further reports coming out of Germany that Guéhi has already held 2 meetings with German giants Bayern Munich about a move to the Bundesliga. Now, this comes on the top of reports that another Liverpool target, Nico Schlotterbeck, has also held talks with Bayern Munich over the continuing uncertainty over Dejan Upamecano, who is likely to leave the German giants in the summer for free. Now, Guéhi may be attracted the same way that Harry Kane was to going abroad, to playing a different form of football, to playing for a club like Bayern Munich. This kind of flies in the face of what some people were saying, that, you know, Guéhi had given his word that he joins Liverpool, that he will join Liverpool, etc., etc. Now, I don't know how true that is, but that's what was being reported. It is concerning, though, that obviously that Bayern have already had these conversations with him. You know, the situation is such that I think come the summer, obviously these clubs can kind of sign Guéhi for free and give him, you know, substantial wages and substantial signing on fees. The other worry, of course, is that in January that Bayern Munich, that Barcelona, Real Madrid, the likes of Paris Saint-Germain can all talk to Guéhi about pre-contract agreements, whereas Liverpool can't unless they approach the club first to sign the player in January. So this is a big concern, and these reports certainly emerging that Bayern Munich have already held 2 meetings with Guéhi do kind of put into doubt Liverpool's pole position to sign him. You know, I personally believe that we do need to get Liverpool do need to get Guéhi over the line in January. I think if Liverpool don't move for Guéhi in January, then I think there's absolutely zero chance that he comes to us in the summer. I think he will go abroad for a substantial amount of money. And I think he will obviously look at that different experience. The worry, of course, also around it is that Guéhi doesn't want to move World Cup year mid-year. So that is another concern for Liverpool. But I think this is kind of a chickens coming home to roost scenario, that we didn't get this done, that Liverpool didn't get this done in the summer. It should have been done summer-wise. It should not have been allowed to tick down to this situation. But it is absolutely imperative for me that Liverpool make every effort to bring Mark Guéhi to the club in January. A failure to do so, I believe, would be, you know, a massive, massive error by the club. Huge error by the club. And look, given the situation with Joe Gomez with his injuries, given the fact that Giovanni Leone is going to be out until next season, Liverpool do need to bring in centre-backs in January. I'm sorry, Arne Slot can sit in press conferences all he wants and talk about Ryan Gravenberch, Wataru Endo, Andy Robertson has been able to fill in there, but that just is not good enough. Not if Liverpool are going to be serious about competing for the Champions League in the rest of the season, and obviously competing perhaps for an FA Cup as well. You know, failure to strengthen in the centre-back area in January, to me, would be a criminal act by the club, and it just would be absolutely irresponsible by Liverpool Football Club. Guys, let me know your thoughts on that one. Right, some news regarding our inspirational Hungarian, Mr. Dominik Szoboszlai. Obviously, Dominik Szoboszlai played 83 minutes on Saturday, was taken off with an ankle injury. Thank God the ankle injury isn't as serious as was first thought. Scans have proved to be positive on it. Scans have proved that he will be back sooner rather than later. However, it is being reported today that he will not be available for the Spurs game, which is a massive loss. Obviously, Dominik Szoboszlai has been a huge part of this team this season, a massive part. And his displays and his engine and his enthusiasm and the way he plays the game, I think, inspire others around him. And not having Dom will be huge for this game. Obviously that means no Mo Salah, no Dominik Szoboszlai possibly. So it does mean that midfield must be and will be probably changed for the Spurs game. Looking at it, on paper and looking at it in terms of fitness, providing people are fit, I think, it's looking increasingly likely like the midfield, God knows what that noise is, will be some combination of Alexis McAllister, Ryan Gravenberch and Curtis Jones. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments on that one. Thank you for watching Liverpool FC Journal. Sorry about that weird noise. As always, guys, if you enjoyed the content, please like, comment, share and subscribe to the channel. Help us to grow. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.